click on my username, it will give us various suggestions like this. See this? So I'll select one among this. Okay, there you go. So that it says available. After selecting, it will take a while, check in the database and then says available. See, I'll change my username, the first one. See that? I should get a image here saying available. Then only it is confirmed. Then I'll go set my password, something like test 1 2 3. Confirm it again. And write my email. Then give my phone number. And I'll click on my continue button. Okay, this is what I have to do. So when I have to perform some actions on all of these objects, as I told you, we have to take the properties of all of these objects first and then use them for a testing purpose. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just open a notepad, put it aside here, come back to my browser. First thing that I have to do here is I have to click on my register now button, on my first home page. So I will go back to my home page. Here is the register now button. And for finding objects, what I have to do? I have to click on Firebug and start using Firebug. You know, instead of that, what I can also do is I can right click on my object. There is an option called Inspect Element in Firebug. This is Inspect Element with Firebug, the last option. Select this. This will directly open Firebug window for you. Everybody, are you with me? Hello?
Yes,
Everyone?
Yes, Mahesh. Yes, Mahesh. Yes, Mahesh.
So yeah, I'm clicking on this Inspect Element. Now, it has opened up a HTML content saying the class name is register now. This. Now I want XPath and every other property also. So what I'll do is, it is in HTML page if you observe. I want FirePath. Okay. I'll right click on this highlighted area, say inspect element in FirePath panel. It will take me to the FirePath panel directly. Okay. Now I got my class as register now. Okay. There is no other property for me. The other property is type button and then the location where it should redirect to, everything like this. So now it is an input here. When we are supposed to use any property of an object, we have various kinds of properties. First one would be CSS. Oh no, let me go with ID. First one is ID. Second one is name. Third one is XPath. Then comes CSS. Then comes DOM. Okay. Remember this, everyone, right? We discussed this. XPath is extensible part. CSS is cascading style sheet. DOM is document object model. Okay. Now I don't see any value coming up here. I see only class, which is like a cascading style sheet value for. And it says input class is equal to register now. Okay. So what I can do here is, if I want to click on this button, which is not having any ID, name, or XPath, even my XPath is also showing me absolute XPath. I want related to XPath. What I'll do is, remember I told you XPaths are of two kinds. So I can use, I don't want to use this XPath also. First I want to go for CSS object, that is class. Okay. The first thing that I can do here is, if you want to use CSS, you should use CSS is equal to tag name dot class name. This is what you have to use. Now what is the tag name there for me? Tag name is input. Okay, this one. This is my tag name, and the class name is register now. So my value is CSS is equal to input dot register now. Okay, understood, everyone? So that's my first object. which I want to use for clicking on my button. Okay, everybody, dear everyone, can you hear me properly?
Yes, Mahesh.
Yes, you don't hear me.
Yes, Mahesh.
Oh, okay. I assume that there is some voice lag in between. Okay, anyhow. Okay, this is my first object. Now, going inside, I click on my register now button. Okay, which takes me to the registration process. First is text box. So, here we use a normal method called type method, and also I want to find out the object name. So I just right click on my object name as for my Firebug. The other objects, insert element with Firebug. Okay, there you go. It has an ID. So I'll go for ID here. ID is equal to F name. Simple way. The next object is ID is equal to F name. Okay, this is my second object. Third one would be my drop downs here, day, month, and year. Okay, that's I try this here. So I click on this, set element in Firebug. Okay. There are my three objects. First one is select ID is equal to day. Yes. And the next one is ID is equal to month. You observe here it is. Third one is ID is equal to year. Okay. And the values are equal to day, month, year. Okay. It concludes my day, month, year. And then here, if you want to write your values, okay. Now, it has given me some radio buttons here, which I want to select. I have to select one among those radio buttons. I just wrote a user called test user. There are like several radio buttons here. If I have to select these radio buttons, I have to use the index of these radio buttons. Okay, let's go for other property called DOM, document object model. We use the CSS now, right? We use DOM here. DOM syntax is whenever you want to find an object. See, first of all, this is an object, right? So I'll right click on this object. Say inspect element with Firebug. Okay. It is my input button. See this? Go for Firebug. Inspect element in Firebug done. Okay. So it has given some names and values here. See, the name of my radio button is radio username. See that everyone? On the last value. And the tag name is input tag. But when you are supposed to use document object model DOM, you have to use document dot form name dot object name. So that's the syntax for your DOM. Okay? DOM it is document dot form name dot object name. Okay. Now here what is my document? This is normal document which I use. And is there a form name? So let us scroll up a little slowly. Find out if there is a form tag. Okay, there it is. Form submit. See that? Right. So the name of my form is form register. See that everyone? Okay. So I need to write as document dot form register dot my object name. That is radio user name. Where did I got this value from? This is the value. One which is highlighted in blue. Okay. Here is my name. That radio user name at the end. Got it, everyone? Are you clear? Are you all clear regarding document object model? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, buddy. Yes, sir. No. See, before analyzing that, when we use which property, you can use any property at any point of time. Civilian. There is no limitation as such. That always you have to go for only one sort of property. Here. The reason why I went for CSS for the first object is, see, I have used CSS for the first register no button, right? Hang on, I will go back. This is my register no button. Right click on this, say segment. This one has only a property called class. There is no other property inside it. See, apart from expert. See, if I want to go for expert, I'll right click on this, inspect the element in file path panel. Okay, here is my expert. I can use this expert also, not an issue. But apart from this, we also have 4 different other property identifications, like using ID, name, CSS, DOM, and then we go for expert. If everything fails, then we go for expert. Expert is the last option. Okay, but I see as a class name here. There is a class is equal to register now. So I felt like I will go for class. But for the other objects, after I click on register now button, there are ID properties. ID is equal to name. Okay, this is my name text box, right? So I'll identify this text box. And this text box is having an ID. This ID of name. Got it? So if there is an ID for an object, directly go for an ID. Or you also have something called as name. This is name, F name on your right hand side corner. Everyone, are you following me? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay.
Yes,
So
Mahesh.
I can use ID, I can use name, everybody. And if these two are failing, then I'll go for CSS. And if that is also failing, then I go for expert. But I don't feel so because these are all ID property values and it suffices my need. And my radio button, when I write a user name here, something like test user, and I scroll down, click on this username. Functionality of this page is it shows me a radio button here. Right. See. Go back, selecting my value. Okay, the moment I come back, see, these are my radio buttons. So if I have to use these radio buttons, I need to know the property of this radio button. So that's why I right click on this object, simply insert element with Firefox. Okay. It will open up a file path panel. So I'll go to my file path. It is in HTML tag. So I right click on this, say inspect in file path panel. So it will take me to the file path. Okay, now here I don't see any other value, but I can see a value called name, radio user name. I can use this. I can go for using a radio button, but I wanted to use DOM. As normally, a DOM is nothing but, as I told you, the syntax for DOM is form name dot object name. If you have a name of an object, you can use DOM property also. I just wanted to show you how to use DOM. Or else you can use a name property also, not an issue at all. So there is no restriction saying that you have to only go for DOM, you have to only go for ID, or you have to only go for name, or you have to only go for expert. Nothing else. According to your convenience, which property is working fine with you, go ahead, use that property. But find out which is available. Then go for using the properties. Okay? Anyone at a minimum, one property will surely be there. If you have more than one property, that is an additional advantage, right? You can use any one among those. But for sure, one property will be available. Okay? Only for links, you will not see any property values. Links will not have anything like ID or name. They will be inside a tag. Then we have to go for expert. Okay? Okay, let's come back to Eclipse. Now, the first thing that I have to do here is I want to start writing or selecting values for me. I'll just set it like this. I want to open up a mail.in.com page. Right. We can use our open URL or open application class while directly using up my username and password. But what I'll do is we'll create a Selenium instance. Okay, default Selenium instance, and we'll open a page directly. Today I want to show you a different aspect here. Now I'll go to my global declaration area. And here I'll create a default Selenium instance again. Public default Selenium. Is equal to new. Open space here. Default Selenium. Normally, what if we wrote like for a server host we write localhost, right? Yeah. And for server port we write 4444. For my browser we write my browser value, and then comes URL. Now here, if I don't want to write the URL, I can just write the protocol. That's it. I will write it inside my open method. Give a semicolon. Done. Okay. Now what I'll do is outside my main method, I'll create one more function. Say public void open URL. Okay. So inside this, I say I created a value called Selenium, a variable name. Okay. I'll use the same here. Selenium dot start. Okay. And then Selenium dot open, which is a string URL, inside which I need to write my URL. Mail.me.com. Okay. And again, Selenium dot window maximized because this opens up in a smaller window. This is the other way around. You can start using your Selenium instance by directly declaring it in your global declaration area. This place is called global declaration area. It's not just for declaring variables. You can directly assign values to the variables also. Okay. Now I have done using a method called open URL. Now inside my main method, I'll go back and create an instance of my class and say I want to create an instance of my mail register class. Okay. What is the class name here? Mail underscore register. So I want to use this class inside my main method. Everyone, are you following what I'm saying? Okay. Now I want to open a URL here. So what I'll do here is I'll just write an instance of my class and create the class and access its values. So I'll write, I'll copy this class, come back to my main method. Let's say n is equal to new mail register. Now inside this I'll say m dot. So there is a method called open URL. See that? Here it is. This will open my browser and a URL. And then I want to use my registration process. So I'll create a method like public void register. Inside which the first thing that I have to do here is I have to create or click on the register now button once the page is open. So for my default Selenium, the variable is Selenium. So I copy this, use it back, dot, and I have to click on my radio register now button, right? So I use a click method. There it is. It is asking me for a locator. Where do you want me to click? In double quotes. I will come back to my notepad where I got my class name. This is my register now button. I copy this, go back, and just paste it here. Okay. This will click on my register now button because I have only class over there with the tag name, input tag name. And once the register now button is clicked, it will come back to this page. Herein, I'll hide my typer. I have to write my username here. My username text box. Name of my text box is fname. See this one. Okay. I'll come back. Here I'll write selenium dot type. I have to type a value. And it will ask me for a locator. And what is the value you have to type? The locator will be fname. That's my object name, ID. ID of my name object. And then inside which value will be test user. Okay. Am I clear so far, everyone?
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. Now, I have a small functional issue. Let me go back to my registration page, home page. So now see, the moment I click on this register now button, it is taking a while to open the next page. See that? A few seconds time. I have to synchronize my page with that few seconds time. So I'll come back to this. After clicking on register now button, I will ask my Eclipse tool or Selenium tool to wait for a while. So as you all know, you can use thread.script. That's a normal traditional method. Apart from this, I can say selenium dot. There's a method called wait for page to load. See this? Here it is. It will ask you how much time do you want me to wait. So within double quotes, use something like 30,000. Some wait time. Okay. So this will synchronize your page, and then we'll start writing our values. Like the first username and the other value. Okay. Now going ahead, after clicking on this, I have to select my date of birth, like day, month, and year. Okay. So now I found out the names and IDs of those objects. His ID is equal to day, month, and year. So come back here to my Eclipse and say I need to use selenium dot select method because I have to select a value. Okay. Now which is asking me what is the value that I have to use, or where is the value that I have to use. So I'll use day. The option locator is in the day I want to use date is something like 4. I have to send it in a string format only. Let's cross it. Is it 04 or just 4? Okay, it is only single values, no zeros. So I'll just remove 0 here. That is my date. And then after date, I have to select month. Type selenium dot select. In after date, I write month. Month is MON format. It is not completely written, I think. Okay, see that MON. Only 3 letters in that name. Okay. So I'll go back and use something like June. Yeah. And after that, I want to select my year. Okay. The object name is year. Year. This one. Copy this. Here. Here would be something like older date. Or is it giving me the 4-digit value for year? Right. Yes, it is a 4-digit value. So I just used an earlier date, something like 89. Okay. Save it. The next thing is, after entering my date of birth, I have to select my radio buttons. Just use it. Just select it. Okay. After selecting these values, some value, the next thing that I have to do is I have to select my radio buttons. So as I have identified earlier, this is my radio username using document object model. Then I have to click on that radio username. I'll just copy this document object model, come back to Eclipse, and say selenium dot, or the click, right? So I use a click method. It will ask me for a locator. So within double quote, I'll just paste the DOM which I've created now. Now this is not sufficient. It's not just a single object. It is more number of objects of the same kind. I have to give index for identifying this object. So the first index starts from 1. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I want to select a test user 73, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I will give beside my object name, that is radio user name, give square braces and then give 4. That's how it is. That's how we select radio buttons using DOM. Okay, DOM is document object model. Syntax for document object model is document dot form name dot object name. So if there are more number of objects of that kind, I use index of those objects beside the name. Okay, am I clear so far, everyone? Inside my main method, I'll just write m dot
Yes, Manish.
register. Thank you. Done. This is what my register process is. Save it. We'll run it till here. Let's say run as Java application. Okay, the Selenium server is not running. Let's run that. Okay, the Selenium server. Let's run as Java. Can you see the value got selected? Just user, date of birth, and the fourth radio button. Everyone, you saw that? Any questions so far? Everybody, did you understand how did we identify objects and then their value? Assign values to those objects.
Yes, Manish.
Yeah, you have to. We have to start working on. Then only you will have some hands-on on that.
First step we're using detail everything, so
Yeah.
not confusing, but it's not that not easy like other things.
Oh, yeah, I know. I will repeat it once again. Once I complete this
Okay.
form registration, I'll repeat how did I identify the object once again. Okay.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
can reciprocate the same and then start using it back. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
I want to fill in my text box called password. Okay. What I'll do here is I'll open up my Firebug again and identify these objects also. Because see, my functionality is I have to fill all these fields which is available. So when I have to perform some action on all of these fields, I need to know the names of these fields. That's what I'm doing. I'm opening a notepad and I'm grabbing the names here. Okay. The next one is for password. So what what is the ID of this password? Right click on this object, inspect it, click Firefox. Okay, it has opened up. It says ID is equal to password. See this? Okay, I can directly use ID or I can even use name also. Okay, not an issue, anything goes. So I'll use ID here, the first property. Come back to Eclipse. Right. Serial dot type method. Ask for the locator. Okay, paste it. Don't need double quotes for the values. Well, okay, I also don't need ID is equal because that obviously goes to an ID value. Okay. Now here I want to type my value, uh, any value which I want to type as a password. So just 1, 2, 3. As this is a text, use double quotes. Okay. Then semicolon. Again I have to retype my password. Again same procedure. Only thing is ID changes. Just copy this line just here. Come back. Okay. Scroll down a little and check out this confirm password. Okay. It says ID is equal to repassword. I'll copy this repassword. Back to Eclipse. Just here. I'm using the same password again. Okay. The next object is email and mobile number. Okay. Just select it. Click on email. Okay. Property ID is ALT email. So I'll just copy this email. Come back to Eclipse. It says selenium dot type. The locator will be ALT email. The value will be in double quotes. Just at the rate gmail.com. Some value. And then after that I need to give a phone number. Okay, so identify the name of my object. It says ID is equal to mobile and phone. Copy this. Come back to Eclipse. Dot type.
Mahesh, one doubt here.
Yes, but
Don't we need to give this selenium or click for the other things like mobile number, alternate emails? Every time we have to click and we have to type something, or it's like we can. Otherwise, how it will come to know?
the type method is equipped with directly clicking and then typing.
Okay.
So you need not have to explicitly write a click method here. The moment you say go ahead and type, it will click and then type.
Okay. But for other things, for the selecting the username, suggested usernames,
Hmm.
radio
button.
user, radio. There we use this click, right?
Click method because I'll tell you. Here we have to click only. We cannot type anything here. You have to select this by clicking, right?
Okay.
So that is the reason we use the click method.
Okay.
So when we have to select one radio button, we are clicking on that radio button, specified radio button, whatever we need. Okay. So then we are clicking, right? So that's the reason we use the click method. Got it?
Okay. Yes, I got it.
Well, then let's go back to your main method. There is a register. And let's run it again. Click save and as.
Mahesh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, buddy, I'm here.
Like here, when we enter date of birth, here you have written like day, 4th June 1989. But when we run Why it's displaying like 6th May
Yes,
1973?
I was about to ask you. Okay, thank you. Okay, there it is. This user has to click on the register now button. Stop it. Maybe that was my second. Okay, just slowly. Let's see the once again. Yeah, clicking on register now will make it wait for a longer while. See the page is loaded. Okay. Uh, it's ready to load the page. This is a lag from my end. It's giving me same error again. The register is not found. Hello?
Yes, Mahesh.
Can you see that it has selected 4th zone?
Yes, Mahesh. Now it has
Okay.
selected that. Yeah.
There are no values. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I want to click on my continue button. I have to find out the ID of my continue button. Close this. Come back to my browser. I want the ID of my object here. I click on this continue button. Inspect element with firebug. Okay. So it just says ID is image field. There is a property called ID, image field. So I'm taking image field, copy this, come back to Eclipse. Then selenium dot click method. In double quotes, I'll just type it here. Okay. Now this is my image field. Okay. When I'm supposed to use image field or any button to be clicked on, when I found it's an image, I can directly use click method. Nothing must do because they are meant to be clicked only. No other go for that. So this is a specific property value. So I use image field here. And do I have any other property available for this? So I'll just right click on my content here inside my HTML. Say inspect in file path panel, which opens up my file path tab. Okay. I have one more property like ID. Sorry. Okay. There is one more property like ID. Name. Yeah, I'll just open it and let's go ahead and try it again. There it is. Yes. Input type is equal to okay, there you go. This is my image field. Let's right click on this and say go to file path. Okay. Can you see that there are like two properties? ID is equal to image field and also name is equal to image field. See that? Good.
Yes, Mahesh.
I can use any of those, so that's why I use name of those objects are same. So that's why I use directly image field without giving anything. Okay? That's along with the click method. Now,
Mahesh,
what I'll do is I'll just rerun this again. Yes, buddy. Yes.
in case the in ID and the name both are same, only in that case we have to give the name directly, right? Correct.
Yes. No, it's not like you have to give them directly or something. You can use their values directly if they are equal.
Okay.
If they are different, then also no problem.
Okay.
For example, ID might be image field 1,
Okay.
name might be image field 2.
Okay.
If you give image field 1 here, for example, assuming that the value is image field 1, it will assume it has an ID property only.
Okay.
If you give 2, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my doubt is like when we can give the names directly, like image field is it click directly the name. Like for example, register now was there, so in that case also we can give click register now directly, right?
Yes. Okay. First thing in any HTML content is object names will be unique.
Okay.
There will not be any other object in the entire page with the name called register now. That's an advantage for a tester, functional tester.
Okay.
Okay, and likewise for a continue button like image field value, there will not be any other object on the entire page with the same name.
Okay.
We take advantage as a functional tester. We take advantage of such kind of object name and use it for our testing purpose.
Okay.
For example, if there are two duplicate objects with the same name, we will differentiate them with this process called indexing. This one. See this radio username 4.
Okay.
Because my radio buttons have same name. Every button name is radio button only. See, I click on this. See, the input says radio. The name is radio username. See this? Last one here.
Yes.
If I select on the second radio button also, with the second radio button, this also gives me the same name.
Radio username.
Radio username. See that? So, if these kind of objects or any object which is having a same name, I differentiate it with the index.
Okay.
I have an object called radio username which is having an index of 4. I want to click on fourth object which is having a name called radio username. Fourth indexed object. So this is how we differentiate objects. Okay?
Okay.
So I now want to click on the continue button. So I'll just save it. Let me run it again. So what I want you all to do is, there is a second page in this mail.register.com. I want you all to complete that second page. Will you be able to do that?
Yes,
Yes,
Mahesh, we'll try.
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. Yes.
Mahesh,
Yes,
hello?
I'm here.
We can use any of this property. How do we come to know, like, we have to use CSS or DOM?
Okay, that's what I said. Once you do a firebug or once you do inspecting an element using a firebar panel, first to go to the highlighted area and identify what are the properties available. As I told you, there is a sequence of properties that you need to go for. If there is an ID property, go for ID property. If there is a name, go for name property. If there is XPath, go for XPath. If there is a document object model available, go for DOM. If there is CSS, go for CSS. It's all up to you. No hassle that you have to, nothing that you have to always use the same object value and you have to always go for one single property only. It's all up to you. No hassles at all.
Okay. And in case of DOM, it's specifically mentioned in that highlighted area as DOM?
No. I wanted to tell you how to use a DOM property. So that's why I selected an option called DOM.
Oh, okay.
See, I wanted to show you how many ways of identification mechanism are there for objects. Okay. For radio username, I can use name property also. But I wanted to show you how to use DOM, so that's why I used this procedure. These are like, this one is CSS, this one is using DOM, and well, the other ones are like with IDs.
Yeah, here for radio button you use DOM, so it was your choice or there in highlighted area it was mentioned as
My
DOM?
choice. It's my choice here.
Okay.
Completely my choice. Because I wanted to let you all know how to use DOM. Here is my radio button. Okay. I open up my Firebug, do a Firebug on my radio button. See, please, when you move your mouse pointer, it highlights the parent object. And here, this is an independent parent object. There is no child. Every radio button is on its own. Okay. So I select the radio buttons only, not the text. Now, when I select it, it shows me. See, it always shows me type is equal to radio, and name is equal to radio button at the far right hand side. Right? Is it everyone? Even if I click on the last radio button also, I do a Firebug on the last radio button, it shows me the same value. Is it? Name is equal to radio username at 10. Type is equal to radio. No other change. Everything is same. So for this purpose, what we can do is, I can use an ID property, but I can't index it. So what I felt here is using DOM is the best option. So as there is a same name for several objects, I used the name property and then gave an index. But when you are supposed to use a DOM, there is a syntax. Syntax is document dot form name dot object name. So document is my instance starting point for my document object model. Form name is form register. Object name is radio user name. Okay, where did I found this form register? I scrolled up a little. Here it is. There is a form tag here. See that form tag? And the name of my form tag is form register. Here is my form register. Got it, everyone?
We cannot see that one.
You're not able to see my screen?
No, we can see, but I think it's low.
There is a lag.
There is a lag here. There is a lag happening.
Okay.
I don't know the reason why I'm using my peripherals to maximum extent, but no idea why it's slow, very slow. Can you see the highlighted area now?
Now we can see now. Yeah.
Yes.
I scrolled up a little in my Firebug and went to a tag called form, which is having a name property, form name, called form register. Name is equal to form register. Okay? And I use it that same here in my Eclipse, saying document dot form register, name of my form, and then the object name. And as there are more number of objects, I use the index of my object. Okay? Now here the problem is, after selecting this radio button, it is waiting for a while. See, my page, I wanted to click on continue page, but it didn't went to the next page. See that? After typing in the values or selecting this radio button, see, I selected the first radio button. See, please observe that the moment I click on select, this text called available disappears and appears again. See this? Got it?
Yes.
And I want to see whether this is available or not. Even if I write a different one, like something like new user. I go to my password field. See, it got disappeared and it says not available. This means there is a refresh happening for the username object. We have to make my control to wait for the refresh to happen properly. So, after selecting this radio button here, after selecting the specified radio button, I have to tell my compiler to wait for a while, take a breathing time. Or maybe before also. That is also fine. So, for my registration, I use throws exception and before running, I'll say thread dot sleep E is capital. Click method something like 3000 milliseconds. And after this line, after the value is selected also, it is refreshing the value, right? So I'll wait for something like 2000 milliseconds. It will synchronize my page properly. Now I'll go back to browsers and run it again. What I did is I gave some breathing time for selecting a value and also for the refresh to happen from my server side. Okay? Oh yeah, my main method is not having my thread throws exception. That's the problem. Let's add there also. We have added throws exception for my child functions here. So I'll go back to my main method. Paste it. Save it and cut. There we go. So first of all, always analyze the functionality of the application. Is it responding immediately after you perform this action or not? If not, give it some breathing time by using thread dot exception or maybe a Selenium object dot wait for page to load, whatever exception or whatever synchronization mechanism, anything is fine. But you have to decide. So when will you be able to decide? Until and unless you understand the functionality of the application, you will not be able to decide for how much time you have to wait at a specific point. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know here, everyone. Oh, where is my... Okay, there you go. My page got appeared. Went back, entering my name, selecting a radio button. See, it is waiting now. Now it clicks on, again it waits. Now, after available came, it went on. Everything is filled well. Here also it is taking some time for me. Clicking on this image field. There you go. After clicking on the image field, it came to the next page. Got it?
Yes.
Now, if you observe, the moment it clicked on image field and for the second page to appear, again it took some time, for which you have to synchronize and then start writing the other snippets of code. Everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
Manish.
ma'am.
Yeah. Suganya, Lavanya,
Yes, Manish.
Geeta.
Yes, Manish.
Everyone, did you understand this?
Yes, Mahesh.
Are we clear so far, everyone?
Yes, Manish.
Now, will you be able to complete this? Will you be able to complete this second page registration?
Yeah.
I want
Yes,
you to
Manish.
select all female radio button. Select all these values from the drop down. Complete this entire process. Select this checkbox and then click on create account.
Okay.
Will you
At
complete
least
this?
one doubt here. Yes, Manish.
Yes, Sugani.
For this, we have to give this path directly, like the um, website
For the
address.
radio.
Like,
For the
yes.
radio.
No. No, the first thing we gave us http mail.in.com. So we want to move to the next page, right? So we want to give this secure.in.com path directly, and we have, or we have to continue with this.
No, you can continue with the same.
Okay.
Or yeah, directly you can directly or can.
Okay.
What happens is it will redirect you to the home page sometimes. See, I using securein.com. It will not go to the second page.
Okay.
It will come to the first page only of registration process. See that? Name, password. After entering all these details only, it will go to the next page.
Okay. It's clear, Manish.
Got it?
Yes. Clear.
You have to complete this procedure and then go back.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, do you all know how to select a radio button? Now, you have to select a radio button here. Yeah, I'll just help you out in this a little. I'm not helping you more. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll just, I'll tell you how to identify the object name. Let me fill this form properly. Something like just 3, name, just gmail.com. Okay. Now, if you all observe, I click on continue. It will take some processing time and then opens my page. Please observe that here and analyze how much time it is taking. That's very much important. So now I'm clicking on my continue button. Say never. Okay. See that? Has come back to my current location. This took some time, some like almost like 3 to 4 seconds time, not more than that. Now I have to fill the other details here. So you have to let your page take that refreshing time of 3 to 4 seconds. Then only it will identify the object. Immediately you cannot identify the object. Okay. Now I'll open my Firebug here. Clicking on F12. Using element identifier, take it to your radio button. Single click on it. So I see the name of my radio button is gender. Okay. Even if I go for male radio button, it gives me the same object value. Name is equal to gender. Is it everyone?
Yes, Mahesh.
So you know what to do when you have the same names. Okay. Now please go ahead and complete this remaining registration process of mail.in.com. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll also send this to you.
Okay, Mahesh.
What I want is in addition. No, hang on here. I have a small addition to the assignment also. Once we are done with this, okay. Everybody, you are familiar in writing values into Excel, right? Have you tried or have you practiced that example? Everyone?
Yes, Mahesh.
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is, uh, no, that's okay. I don't want you to confuse her. I'll tell you. Because, I mean, my intention is we will get some manual test cases here. Okay. According to the manual test cases, we have to write our automations. So as you are not acquainted with manual test case, I don't want you to rush up now. Okay, don't worry. Take your room space and complete this procedure of registration. We'll work on the manual scripts and then automation parallelly from probably on Tuesday on my Tuesday morning, your Monday morning. Okay, your Monday evening. I mean.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry. I'll tell you about manual first and then I'll give you that assignment. Okay. And only today's assignment is you are completing this registration process of mail.in.com. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, any more questions? Everything is fine. Understood very well. Also, if you are okay or if you are feeling convenient in handling the objects, please open your own websites of your own discretion. Start working on those, identifying those objects like this. Same procedure here. So that you'll have some hands-on, okay? Take out any website. Go ahead, identify. Every website will surely have text boxes, radio buttons, draw select boxes, list boxes, what not. Images, right? Do some work around on any other website. I appreciate it if you start working on it that way. Okay? Okay, then everyone have a good weekend. Let's catch up on your Monday evening.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Okay. Yeah. Bye everyone.
Bye. Bye.